to transition or to kind of solve the biggest problems in rice, you essentially need to convince about 150 million smallholder rice farmers to change the way in which they farm. Today, they'll farm one way, which they've been doing for multi-generations. And over time, researchers have found that actually if they make a few small changes in mainly how they irrigate their farms and the behavior that they use to actually grow that crop, then there can be several impacts that won't necessarily be impactful for that specific farmer. They might not necessarily see a huge impact in terms of yield, in terms of, their crop health. It's not that direct. It's more of a wider impact to society, right? To that community. So it'll have an impact on the consumption that they're having on that watershed. So kind of like how much they're extracting from their local river, from their bore wells. So they might not feel it. Their children will feel it. And so for me, how I see the problem, our job is really about, we have all the solutions in place. It's how do you build a business model where you fit the different pieces together so that once it's all together, you're essentially getting money to flow to the right places so that those solutions happen. And for us right now, it's really about how do you get money flowing from the regulators and the corporates that are emitting, that need pathways to actually offset those emissions, into the hands of the folks that need an incentive to actually create a change today.
You can think of us as a vertically integrated carbon project developer focused specifically on mitigating methane emissions from rice farming. What this means right now is that, the pools of capital or the levers that we need to pull to make this change, one of the emerging theses was that, yes, the carbon markets exist. And as a result, a pool of capital is available, private capital is available to solve this problem, as compared to, the traditional sources of capital for solving a problem like this being either philanthropy or through sort of, government spend, right? Like these are problems that private companies don't typically need to be the ones that solve it, but because the carbon markets exist, that's one lever that we're pulling right now. In terms of what we aspire to be, I think we aspire to be the infrastructure layer that allows for the transition to climate smart farming, right? And let me go back to the first point, which is as a carbon project developer, what we have developed as assets is, number one, this sort of direct touch point with approximately 70,000 farmers as our scale exists today, which will be at 150,000 a few months from now. So that's the first point, that we have a relationship with each of these individual farmers. Currently, the only notion of change with these farmers is a simple practice change, which is stop flooding your fields for the whole season, allow the soil to be exposed to air periodically, and as a result you curb this sort of rapid rate of methane emission growth, and you sort of curb the amount of methane that is emitted, right? And in terms of the cost to the farmer, there's none, right? And the relationship that we built with the farmers is on the context of giving. We provide the tooling for free, we provide the advisory for free, and at the end of it, if the farmer is successful in making their practice change and we're able to monitor that and track that, the farmer also receives a reward for their efforts.